Hello good dear viewers. The title of this tutorial is General Overview on Significant Figures. And we have some bunch of numbers here. We are going to go through them to understand what it means by significant figures. In general, every natural number is significant. But what is natural numbers? You know, natural numbers are just the counting numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that order. But what about zero? Sometimes zeros can be significant because zeros appears in a number in three different ways. We have the trailing zeros, that is the zeros that appears in the end. You can see them here. Anywhere you see zeros in the end, like 200, 300, we call them trailing zeros. And we have the leading zeros, zeros that appears before the natural numbers. For example, we have some of them here. All these are leading zeros. You can see them here. And we have some zeros that appears in between two natural numbers. Do we have them here? Yeah. I think you can see we have two zeros here in between two natural numbers. We have others here. You can see them here. We call them middle zeros. But which one among them are said to be significant? All right. If a number contains a decimal point, all the trailing zeros are said to be significant in that number. For example, you see this number contains decimal. Therefore, these trailing zeros are significant. Again, those zeros that appear in between two natural numbers are also significant. The only zeros that are not significant are those leading zeros and the trailing zeros in a number that does not contain decimal. So now let us get started. We have 35 here. How many significant figures are here? Remember I told you all natural numbers are significant. Therefore, 35 has two significant figures. What about 200? Remember I told you trailing zeros are not significant unless if the number contains decimal. But this 200 does not contain decimal. Therefore, we have only one significant figure here, which is 2. One significant figure. But what about this? When we are talking about significant figures, these two numbers are different, though they have the same weight, right? 200, 200. But this one contains a decimal in the end. Therefore, we are going to consider these trailing zeros as significant. Therefore, here we have 3 significant figures. What about this? 35.00. All of these figures are significant. These are trailing zeros, but the number contains decimal. Therefore, we have 4 significant figures here. What about this one? We have a middle zero, and I told you middle zeros are all significant. Therefore, 4, 0, 1, 2, and 1 are all significant. We have how many of them? 4 significant figures. What about this one? All the leading zeros are not significant, irrespective of whether it has a decimal or not. So we only have 2 significant figures here. 2 significant figures. What about this one? It contains leading zeros, 1, 2, 3. They are all non-significant. We have a middle zero here in between two natural numbers. It is significant. Therefore, 2, 0, and 6 are all significant here. We have 3 significant figures. What about this number? We have leading zeros, they are not significant. We have a trailing zero, we have a middle zero, and I told you trailing zero or zeros can be significant if that number contains a decimal. Therefore, 1, 2, 3, 4 are all significant. We have 4 of them, 4 significant figures. Let's move on to the other ones. We have a leading zero here, non-significant. We have middle zeros, they are all significant. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 significant figures, right? What about this one? Leading 0, non-significant. Middle zeros are all significant. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 significant figures. Leading zeros are non-significant. This is a natural number. It is significant. These are trailing zeros. They are significant in this case because the number contains decimal. Therefore, we have 3 of them. 3 significant figures. What about this one? This number does not contain a decimal. Therefore, this trailing 0 is not significant in this case. We only have a middle 0 which is significant, then our 2 natural numbers, 1, 2, 3. So this number has 3 significant figures. But look at these numbers, they are exactly the same, right? The same weight. But this one contains a decimal in the end. Therefore, we are going to consider the trailing 0 as significant, making 4 of them. 4 significant figures. Down here, all of these figures are significant. We have trailing zeros, but because of decimal, we are going to consider them as significant. We have middle zeros, they're in between 2 natural numbers. Therefore, they are also significant. Therefore, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are all significant figures. We have 7 significant figures. Here we have a leading 0 which is non-significant. This one is also leading 0. 1, 2, 3 are all significant. So we have 3 significant figures. Second to last, trailing zeros, non-significant. Only 1 significant number here. 1 significant figure. What about this one? 2, 5, 6 are all significant. Point. This 0 is in between 6 and 1 is also significant. This is a trailing 0, but because the number contains decimal, we are going to consider it as significant. Therefore, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All of them are significant here. We have 6 significant figures. So I don't think there's any form of number that we have not covered here, but if there is, please state it in the comment box below and I shall answer that question. Thank you for watching. Do share to your learning colleagues and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more exciting videos. Bye-bye.